What's up guys? Welcome back, or if it's your first time to my channel, welcome. Back with you again today with part 2 of going through my movie collection. I don't know how long this is going to take. I don't know how many, videos this is going to be. I guess this is going to be an ongoing series until it's finished. And of course, in the midst of doing this, because I'm not sure how long it's actually going to take to even film all these. It may take some time with work and other responsibilities to get through all of this. However, in the middle of that, it's like I will be doing the regular hauls and stuff like that, so that way we'll be able to kind of see in real time my updated collection or what have you. But back with you again today to continue through my movie collection. I apologize if you hear any racket or anything like that in the background. I'm trying to film, so of course my cats are losing their minds. I got 2 cats, and they're wanting to fight and play and wrestle and just make a bunch of noise, and then rub against the table and shake it, because I got a little TV table that I have my setup on here so I can film. So if you hear any racket and stuff, I apologize for that, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Last video, I went through the numbers, and now we're getting into the letter A. So all the movies starting with the letter A in this one, which is a pretty good chunk of movies right there. So, and if you don't understand, it's like what's going on with these movies and stuff, like go back and watch the first part. It's like I don't keep cases, I only keep the discs, and this is how they are stored. So into the letter A, starting off with a bang with, wait, no we're not. I'm going backwards, guys. There we go. Here we go. Starting off, still a pretty bang. This is a classic for me. A Christmas, pretty much every year watching this one, we have A Christmas Story. That's, pretty standard fare for holiday movies. That's a classic at this point. TBS every year, 24 hours of A Christmas Story. Love that movie a lot. Next up, we've got A League of Their Own. Another classic. I watched this a lot growing up. I was probably watching this at too young of an age really to be watching this, but I enjoyed this a lot. Gina Davis, Tom Hanks, of course. Absolutely fantastic movie. Love this movie a lot. Next up, we've got Accepted, Justin Long, Jonah Hill. Very, very good movie. Enjoy that one a lot. Haven't rewatched that in quite some time, and so far these have all been DVDs. As I said in my previous video, it's like I'll try to remember to tell you like what if they're DVD, Blu-ray, and then I have maybe a handful of 4K, but a majority of my collection are DVDs because they're cheap. I go to Goodwill, thrift stores, stuff like that, or the $5 bin at Walmart. So that's where I get a lot of my movies. So Accepted. Next up, I absolutely love this movie. We've got Across the Universe. Of course, the musical using music from the Beatles catalog. Absolutely fantastic movie. I think his name is Jim Sturgis. Absolutely. There are some of the songs, because I have some of the songs in my music collection from this movie that I actually like better than the original Beatles versions. And there are a couple that Jim Sturgis does that are absolutely fantastic. And if you like the Beatles, especially if you love the Beatles music, check this movie out. And of course, musicals, check this movie out. I'm not a big musical guy whatsoever, but I love the Beatles and I love this movie. Fantastic movie. They did a great job with that one. Next up, a classic of my childhood. This is one that this man ruled my childhood. Jim Carrey in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And then this was a double or excuse me, a triple disc. We've got, of course, the sequel, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. It's still good. I prefer the first one. And then last but not least, we've got Ace Ventura, the animated series. I've never actually watched any of the animated series. That's one thing that I missed in the day, as much as back in the day, as much as I loved Ace Ventura, as much as I loved The Mask. I never watched either one of those animated series. I know that they're a thing, or were a thing, but I missed them somehow. Kind of like with the real Ghostbusters, I guess. I kind of missed the boat with those, even though I was a big, I watched a lot of cartoons and stuff as a kid, but there's just certain ones, for whatever reason, I just kind of missed out on. Next up, we have this is our first Blu-ray of letter A. We have The Addams Family, and it also came with The Addams Family Values, the sequel. I absolutely love those movies so much. Those are anytime watches for me. I do like the TV series as well, but I absolutely love the movies. The movies are fantastic. They're classics. They're super rewatchable, in my opinion. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've watched both of them over the years. Next up, we've got A Dirty Shame, the neuter version. Johnny Knoxville, Selma Blair. It's been a really long... I want to say this was John Waters. I could be wrong, but I think it was John Waters. He had something to do with it. I only watched this one time back when I got it, because I think this was another one that I got from Movie Gallery when it was closing. Mainly because of the cast, and the cover was weird, because Selma Blair's character has like gigantic like breasts, and I forget. It's a really weird cover, that I was kind of like, what is that? And ended up grabbing it, and I don't remember anything about it, but there you go. Next up, we've got Adventureland. Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds has a part in this. Fantastic, like coming of age movie. Takes place in the 80s. Has a really great soundtrack. A lot of good songs in it. Just fantastic. Kind of a rom-com type, like I said, coming of age movie. Very good. One of my all-time favorites. I've seen this a lot. I've seen this a bunch. Rewatched it, especially once I actually had, a physical copy of it. I have watched this a lot. So, very good movie. If you like that kind of movie, like especially like 80s, teen coming of age tale. The lead character, Jesse Eisenberg kind of plays the same role that he always kind of plays, just the awkward, intellectual type character. But it's a great, especially for a young person. And when I first saw it, that movie, I don't even want to look and see how old that movie is at this point, but I was much younger when I first saw this, so it is very much a, what am I going to do with my life kind of thing. So very good movie. Definitely look that one up. If anything that I've said about it piques your interest, definitely look it up. Next up, this is another classic for me. The cast, just the whole vibe of the movie is fantastic. We have Airheads, Adam Sandler, Brendan Fraser, and of course, oh my God. I just had a brain fart on the third guy's name. Oh my God, Steve Buscemi. I'm so sorry. And Steve Buscemi, Airheads, fantastic movie. Comedy, they show this a lot on Comedy Central back in the day. I've watched it I don't know how many times. But a great movie, great soundtrack about a a band wanting to make it, and the ends that they will go to become rock stars. They want to be rock stars, and they want the world to hear their music. So fantastic movie. If you've never seen this one and you're a fan of any of those guys, especially Brendan Fraser, check this one out. Fantastic movie. Also, a little cameo by Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. And Harold Ramis of Ghostbusters fame is also briefly in it. So check that out. Next up, we got Aliens, the special edition DVD. Unfortunately, the only Alien movie that I have in my collection. I do have the entire collection digitally. But this is the only physical copy to have. Eventually, I want to, buy the box, the Blu-ray box set at some point. But Aliens, the special edition, absolutely fantastic. James Cameron just has did have a way with sequels. With Terminator 2, T2, arguably better than the first one, and then he comes in with Aliens, and I feel like I was talking to a coworker of mine the other day about this. Alien and Aliens, both fantastic movies on their own, and they work great as the original and the sequel. But you can watch two different vibes at the same time, because you've got Alien, of course, which is sci-fi horror, and then you've got Aliens, which is more of an action, sci-fi action movie. So fantastic movies, or fantastic series, but Aliens especially, I love, oh man, so many times. And I find Aliens, even though Alien is fantastic, Aliens is the more rewatchable movie, because it's, Alien, you really have to kind of be in the mood for that slow kind of, sci-fi horror. Aliens, again, is action, right from the get-go. So next up, we got the Alvin and Chipmunks live action movie from 2007. Watched this a couple times way back. It's been a really long time. Never watched any of the sequels, but I absolutely loved this one. And then we've got the animated Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. Ended up finding that at Goodwill and picked it up. Been a couple years now. Next up, we've got American Pie, the original unrated version there. Then we've got, messing this up because I was putting them face down, and I want to keep these all in the right order. Then we've got American Pie 2. And eventually I'll have the first one, but I was able to find the sequel, or the first sequel, at Goodwill. We got Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Not as good as the first one, but I really do enjoy this one a lot. I've watched it quite a few times. I really do enjoy this one. Like I said, eventually I want to have the original Anacondas movie as well. Love that movie. Loved it as a kid. It's fun. Which is weird to say, because it is a horror movie about a giant snake killing people. But it's just a fun watch. Next up, we got the classic horror movie, An American Werewolf in London. Absolutely love that movie. One of the, if not the best werewolf transformation scenes in all of cinema, especially horror, is that transformation scene, and the fact that it was all practical. It's fantastic. Next up, we got Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, the Rich Mahogany edition. Then Antitrust, starring Ryan Phillippe. I'm blanking on his name. I am blanking on his name. Man, I hate myself later. It's been a long time since I watched this movie, and it's I know that I really enjoyed it growing up, but it's about a computer whiz that is like ends up getting contracted by a computer like mogul that's supposed to sort of be based on Steve Jobs, or maybe even Bill Gates. And because I want to say around the time it came out, it was probably Bill Gates, because this is what, 2000. Fantastic movie though, really really good, kind of thriller type movie. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on like what to tell you more about it. I feel like I really need to have kind of like my laptop set up here so I can give like a little bit more information on some of these things. Almost there through the A's. Next up, we've got Armageddon, or Armageddon as it's properly said. I think it's 1999. Am I correct? Let me. I don't know. I think it was no. It was 96. I think it was 96, wasn't it? Was it Armageddon 96? Anyway, fantastic movie. Fantastic space movie. They don't spend a whole lot of time in space, but fantastic movie though. I mean, Aerosmith did the title like theme song for the movie. You've got Bruce Willis, Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck before he was just, I don't know. I'm sick of Ben Affleck. He's just, I don't know. Anyway, won't get into that. And the rest of the cast, fantastic. I need to rewatch this. It's been a long time, but I remember watching this a lot growing up. One of my all-time favorites. Probably another one of those that wouldn't have worked really any time other than the 90s. Then next up we have At First Sight, starring Val Kilmer. I'm trying to remember, is it Mina Savaro? Is she the love interest? I can't remember. But Val Kilmer is the main character in this one, and he's a blind guy that ends up meeting this woman. They fall in love. She wants to give, she's in some sort of medical field or something, I believe, that's kind of like cutting edge at the time, and she wants to give him the gift of sight. He was born blind. He's never seen before. She wants to give him that gift because she loves him, and everything like that. And he ends up doing it, and it's kind of him dealing with that. And again, could you imagine being born blind, never seeing anything, and suddenly you can see? How jarring that would be. Maybe even more so as like always being able to see and suddenly being blind. I feel like always being blind and then being able to see might be worse in a way. Fantastic movie though. That was Val Kilmer. There was a time where Val Kilmer was very, like, after Batman Forever, I got on a Val Kilmer kick and wanted to see really anything that he was in. So I remember stumbling across At First Sight and seeing it was Val Kilmer, so I checked it out. All right, next up, we're getting close to the end here. We've got Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Of course, Mike Myers, classic comedy from the 90s. Oh, man. Then we've got Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, the sequel, or the first sequel, the follow-up. And then, last but certainly not least, Austin Powers in Goldmember, the third and final installment. I know that the rumor mill keeps churning that there's going to be a fourth Austin Powers movie. Mike Myers really wants it to happen. Will it happen? I don't know. Will it work in today's environment? I don't know. I think that it can, but I don't feel like it's going to. The original Austin Powers movies were so edgy, and so they did use stereotypes, they did use crude humor, and that's just the way the landscape that society was at the time. And you look back at it with modern eyes and you're just like, well, stereotypes are bad, and you shouldn't make fun of, fat people, you shouldn't make fun of like little people and all that kind of stuff. However, at the same time, it's like Vern Troyer was a real little person, and he was cool. He was good with it. He understood that he was the butt of the joke, so to speak, but at the same time, he became super famous because of it. And I don't think that he was ever mistreated or anything, as far as like, being, or having anybody like legitimately, making fun of him or giving him a hard time on those sets for being a little person. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's a whole political thing. I don't want to get political and all that and whatever and all that. But I don't know if an Austin Powers movie will work today like it did back in the late 90s. I don't know. And if they tone it down to be able to work, I don't know if it'll have the same heart that the original movies had, or that they'll be the same. Plus, too, with a lot of these movies that are, 20, 30 years old, that now they're suddenly like, we want to make a sequel this far along. To me, they're always kind of missing something. Even if they're not necessarily bad, they don't capture the same thing that the original movie or movies had. Anyway, let's close up shop here with this last, for the A's, for the last video. This is the one I was going to start with originally because I had my stack orientated in the wrong way. We've got The Aviator, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Kate Beckinsale is in it. Cate Blanchett is in it. It is a fantastic, this is one of my all-time, like, I love this movie so much, and I know, with it being a biopic, it's probably not 100% accurate. There's dramatizations and stuff like that go into this, what have you. So it's like, you gotta kind of, I don't know anything about Howard Hughes, or I don't know anything more than what this movie told me, and some that I remember hearing or reading about whenever this movie came out. So it's like, I don't expect this to be 100% accurate by any means. But this is a fantastic film. Leonardo DiCaprio's performance is fantastic. One of his best, I have to say. It's like, one of my favorites for sure is this one. I've watched this one. This is one I need to eventually upgrade, because this is a full screen version. That's how long I've had this movie. Fantastic movie. Really, really enjoy that one a lot. If you're a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, and you like biopics, especially, I think you really enjoy that one. I don't really know what else to kind of like compare that to. If you like this, then you'll like The Aviator. I think it's a fantastic movie. If I think I really enjoy it. So check it out, look it up, and see if it's something you'd be interested in, and then hopefully watch it, because I think it's fantastic. I highly recommend that one. Anyway, that's gonna do it. I didn't have to cut any in this one. My cats luckily chilled out. They're now napping. So I didn't have to cut any in this one. Was able to just get through all of column A. So done with A in this one. And next part, next part we will delve into the B's, at least. We'll see how far we can get. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And I hope you'll join me next time for the next bit of sharing my movie collection. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, stay awesome and keep collecting.